Hi everybody, this is for the class that normally sees me on Thursday. The class that normally sees me on Tuesday, this is kind of an overview of what we have done in class, so you don't need to watch this. But for the class that normally sees me on Thursday, I created this flipped lesson because there's a lot of information I really needed to get to you prior to the field observation that's coming up next week. So you are required to watch all of this. In this flipped lesson, I'm also going to give you several tasks, and I am expecting that you'll carry out those tasks. So you can see reminders on your screen at any point. You can feel free to pause, jot down notes, rewind, whatever it is that you find helpful. So first of all, you owe me your answers from your Raha for this week, chapters 5 and 6. Plus, I need to check the highlighting and the annotations, chapters 1 through 6, since I really haven't been able to see you to do that. So it is your responsibility at some point on Thursday between 9 o'clock and 3:30 to stop by my office and to show me your annotations and highlighting and to hand in your answers. I will not be available 9:25 to 11, and I will not be available 1:45 to 3:30. So you are required to come stop by and bring me your information. In addition, you should have already submitted observation reflection paper number 1. You'll note that in the syllabus, I say that you need to email it to me. If you've already emailed it to me, great. If not, it needs to be emailed to me prior to the beginning of class time tomorrow, so that's 8 a.m. Couple things that I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to give you some logistics and reminders and preparation for observation number 2. So the first reminder is fingerprinting. Our observation next week, you have to have your fingerprinting done for. You need the approval for. I'm going to just read names. So from my Thursday class, I don't have approval from the following people: Hunter, Nawi, Lauren, Emily, Devin, Kyle, Lauren, so both Laurens, Lauren Brewer and Lauren Lambert, Hannah, and Beverly. So if you have the approval, then screenshot it and email it to me right now. Pause the flipped lesson and do that. If you don't have the approval, you need to be in touch with me about where you are in the process. Okay. Also coming up, due week 7. So that's February 29th for you guys. We've got next week is an observation. The week after that is winter break. And then we'll meet in person during week 7. That week, your observation paper number 2 will be due. And you will need to complete your Raha of chapters 7 and 8. The questions for both chapters is question number 2. So chapter 7 is question 2 and chapter 8 is question number 2. Another reminder is, if you are not aware, in your Moodle, you will see that there's a School of Education Moodle page. This is basically our way of communicating with all School of Education majors. We regularly post information here. So there's things like job postings, including summer jobs, including year-round jobs or jobs that you can work at while you're at school. There's also announcements on this page, so you should be checking this pretty regularly. I recommend checking it at least twice a week. All right. The other thing I wanted to do is to remind you about the observations, that in the observation reflection, you are supposed to be linking what you're seeing in the field to course content. Okay, so for this previous observation, when we were in class together last, I made some recommendations about what you could link it to. And that's what you see at the screen right now. In this coming up observation, I'm making some more recommendations. So you may link it to course content from what you're doing with Wally. You may link it to course content from ED 122, which is the class you took in the fall. Or the easiest approach is to link it to some of the observation tools in the back of the text. I listed some specific ones that you could use for this week on the slide. In general, each observation is supposed to kind of go with a particular section of the text. So we just read chapters 5 and 6, which is about the learning climate and classroom management. And so observation number 2, you're going to focus on observing learning climate and classroom management. One way to do that is to link it to using these observation tools. If you use instrument 5.2, you should also use 5.3 and 5.4. That would be counted as one paragraph. Okay. Any of these other instruments you could use as well. I'm telling you this now because you need to bring copies of that instrument into the field with you. So if you go into the field and then you come home and then you look at the instruments, you're not going to have the data that you need. So I strongly recommend looking in your text right now at those particular instruments. Deciding on some instruments that you might want to use for your observation, and then coming prepared to the field observation with those. Our observation this coming week, so next Thursday, is going to be at Williams Elementary School. You can see on the screen there's a map for you. It's just past, or it's just before the corner store. If you've ever eaten there, you could hop over for a lobster roll afterwards. They have the best lobster rolls around. Williams Elementary, the address is 55 Pleasant Street. The parking lot is a little bit funky, so please drive carefully. It may be bus time. They may be doing bus drop-off as you're arriving, so you really need to be careful. Each of you is going to be in a different room for this observation. Here's a list of where everyone is going to be. So we are in grades 3 and 4 classrooms. Right now you can take a look at the screen and find your name, and you will figure out which teacher you're with, which grade level, and which room. When you arrive at the school, dress professionally as always. You should sign in. Then you should go directly to the room in which you're observing. So if you don't immediately see me, that's okay. Just go to the room where you're observing. I'm probably in a different room or helping somebody else get oriented. I'll kind of pop my head around into the different rooms as you are observing. Okay, the other thing that we would have done in class that we're not going to be able to do is some reflection around observation 1. And then some preparation for observation 2. Some of the things that I wanted to highlight in preparation for observation 2 are on the screen right now. I would recommend taking a close look at some of these and potentially using these as the course content that you were relating your observations to for next week in the field. So that is my very, very, very quick overview of what we were going to do in class. It's a lot of information. It would have definitely been better in person. If you have questions or if you are confused, please reach out to me, send me an email, or send me a text over Remind. I hope that you guys all drive safely in this storm, and I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.